welcome back to the Citizen channel. You're all staying safe and well. It's Bernard reporting on the story of the game. Yes, we'll look back at City 2, Everton 0. Match day 8, of course, 3 p.m. kickoff. Put us top for a few dozen minutes, didn't it? But yeah, we'll take anything we can at the moment, won't we? This took place on the 18th of October. At atmosphere-wise, yeah, a bit of a quietish Etihad. Everton 3 o'clock kickoff. I'd expect it to be a little livelier, but reasonably quiet. Everton are not the noisiest supporters unless they're actually winning at any stage, but a bit disappointing. One of the quietest games I've been at the Etihad in recent times, that's for sure. My headline on this, with the play on the theme that if Erling, of course, isn't scoring, who the hell's going to score for us? That's the problem at the moment. And it's simply, we're Haal okay. Yeah, so we are okay, but we're a Haal injury away from not being okay, I think, at the moment, and I think Pep knows that. And we'll have to look at some of the newspaper headlines after, and Pep I think we all know that, sort of admitting that we need other players to step up to the mark, don't we, to score goals. Right, before the story of the game, guys, hit that like button if you can. If you're not already done so, it'd be wonderful. Helps the channel, of course, it does. If you can give us any hype points, yes, you've got hype points on YouTube. You've got any of them spare to give me, that'll be wonderful. It helps all the algorithms. And, of course, guys, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Spread the word, of course, as I try and hit 50,000 subscribers, hopefully in the next few weeks. So, yeah, put us out there, guys. Much appreciated. A bit more later on about helping the channel as well. Right, let's have a look at the teams first of all. City's 11, 3 changes from the Brentford game. Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Aki, O'Reilly, Gonzalez, Reinders, Savinho, Foden, Doku and Haaland. On the bench, Trafford, Stones, Marmoush, Kovacic, Cherky, Bernardo, Gvardiol, Bob and Lewis. Everton starting 11. Pickford, yes, he had a busier game than he did the other night for England, didn't he? O'Brien, he's pretty naffy, I wasn't overly impressed with O'Brien, but I was impressed with some players. Tarkovsky, Keane, Mikalenko, Garner, Alcaraz, Dewsbury Hall, Ndiaye and Beto. Yeah, so quite impressed with both of them. Perhaps Ndiaye more than Beto. Pre-match, of course, the players took the knee. I did notice a few sort of boos in the distance, a few boos from somewhere, and that's not really happened before with this, but I did get a feel for that looking at social media leading up to the game about this taking the knee business again. I did get a feel there might be one or two, but it's just obviously a reflection of probably the UK at the moment, isn't it? Sadly, or not sadly, depending which way you look at it, of course. I'm not going to get all political, this is football. Right, the match itself, I think Everton sort of started very well, didn't they? I think they had most of the ball until 12 minutes when O'Reilly tried one from distance. It sort of zinged past the far post. I'm going to mention this guy a lot today. He seems to have had a lot to do, didn't he? Pickford was at full stretch, but he seemed to be quite certain it was going to go wide. And then a really good chance for Everton on 14 minutes, yeah, after some huffing and puffing. Beto can't quite get enough on a ball at the far post. I watched it back. I thought, well, was he a bit slow? But I think he did as much as he can. The Dier was really lively. It was lively throughout the game. Did well to create the chance, and it all from a guy who I thought had a good game. Apart from this, was a really piss poor pass out from bit of alliteration there. Piss poor pass out from Aki. Of course, was cut out in defence. Shocking pass from him. An error that was needless. But I thought he had a good game apart from that, and we got away with it, so fair enough. So check out my player ratings, guys, as well for individual look at the players, City's players in this game. 16 minutes, Nunes, a lovely through ball for Xavi, who has a tame shot. It's interesting, I watch a bit of LB sometimes, and he comments on the fact Xavi should be playing on the opposite wing, Doku should be playing on the opposite wing. When it comes to shooting, they're not using the strongest feet half the time, so some of the shots are tame, and that was the problem with Xavi, of course, and Doku to a lesser extent as well. But Nunes has played a lovely ball through for Xavi. And his tame shot, which is what it was saved by Pickford. He should really do better. And then moments later, in open play, Nunes puts one wide from just outside the box. I think Pickford had it sort of covered again. Didn't seem overly troubled by it. 24 minutes from a corner, the ball. I think most people thought in the ground, the commentator did when I watched it back. I thought Haaland had got a head on it, but of course under pressure O'Brien had headed it against his own bar. I didn't know anything about it. I don't even think it hit his forehead. I think sort of hit the side of his head. So a bit of a let-off for Everton because Pickford was absolutely nowhere near that one. 32 minutes, Beto again drags one wide for Everton when put through by Dier, who's a lively. I wouldn't mind him at our place, actually. I think he should have done better, Beto. The flag went up, but he was certainly looked onside. It was quite tight. We'll never know. But, of course, he perhaps should have done better with that. Donnarumma sort of diving to his right. But, yeah, I think Beto should have perhaps... if he'd scored, it might have been 1-0 for Everton. Who knows? 41 minutes and Dier with a good effort cutting in. He's palmed over by Donnarumma, who left a couple of defenders in his wake. City couldn't quite clear the ball properly. And of course, Donnarumma was on duty to do a not simple, but a standard palm over from a goalkeeper. You'd expect him to make those sort of saves. 43 minutes, Haaland does really well. Battles through the middle, wins the ball from Everton, who can't clear the lines, and he finds Reinders, who perhaps should have had a shot, but what he does, he turns it over to Doku. But again, coming in from that left-hand side, his shot is poor, and he doesn't really trouble Pickford too much. So I think Reinders could have had a pop. And Doku's finish was pretty awful. In fairness, it was just as bad as Savi's earlier on. 45 minutes, an Aki header from a Foden corner drifts wide. So we get 2 minutes extra time, but then in the third minute of extra time, another Savi effort saved, though it was a little bit better this time, but a bit more power behind it. He took down a Reinders cross ball from the other side of the pitch superbly and took it inside the defender. And Pickford sort of juggles it, and then he sort of cut inside, beat another defender, and then of course a shot sort of straight at Pickford. He sort of juggles it and puts it out for a corner. But a bit of a better effort from Savi, that one. It was better than his earlier effort, that's for sure. So 0-0 at half-time. And Moyes would be quite happy, I think. Everton had a couple of chances, 2 or 3 chances. City probably had 3 or 4. But I think Moyes would have been quite happy. He's got a crap record at the Etihad. I don't think he's got anything at our place since, or certainly not got a win since 2012. But we certainly needed to up the pace that second half. And we know Pep's not going to make any immediate substitutions. It won't be Pep, would it? So he stuck with the same 11. Unfortunately, we didn't have to wait too long. On 58 minutes, it's 1-0. O'Reilly, a lovely cross for Haaland, superbly, but just knew. He sort of looked up, he knew where Haaland was, he deliberately played that ball, and an amazing leap. Haaland's moving onto it, so it allows him to get a bit of pace, allows him to get a lot of height on his leap, and heads it down, and Pickford's sort of caught going the wrong way. He tries to keep it out with his feet, but of course only sort of manages to help it into the goal. But it's also a great through ball to Nico from... through to Nico, whose cross was spot on from Erling. Of course it was. I think it was it Foden who fed, or it might be Reinders. My apologies, who fed Nico. You let me know in the comments, guys. But a nice little build-up. No messing about. That's what we like to see. Very unpep, of course, but that's what we want to see. Sub 59 minutes, Bob for Doku, Bernardo for Reinders. 61 minutes of VAR check. Yeah, weren't really aware of it in the ground as the ball had hit Bernardo's trailing arm, if you like. But in fact, it was his arm that would have protected him landing on the ground. I think that the rule is you can't give a penalty for that under normal circumstances, but you never know, do you, with the VAR. So anyway, it was no penalty, ended up as a corner. Nice block from Bernardo, got his body in the way. 63 minutes, so it's 2-0, probably game over, although we could have gone on to score more, of course. Foden to Savi, who finds Haaland, who strikes it home through the defender's legs. A little bit unsighted. Pickford seems to be a little bit slow. Didn't quite react quick enough, but I'm not going to put too much blame on Pickford. And Savi had sort of passed it back nicely for Haaland to stroke it home. 69 minutes, high and not so handsome from Foden. 77 minutes, Rohi hits the side netting for Everton. Some Everton fans thought it'd gone in the net, but obviously it hadn't. Subs 85 minutes, Lewis for O'Reilly, Cherky for Savi, Kovacic for Gonzalez. 7 minutes injury time. I have no idea where that was, but in that 7 minutes, Hurling had 3 chances to score a hat-trick. Yeah, 93 minutes. He sort of hesitated when he perhaps should have carried on, and he blows a chance of his first chance of a hat-trick as Pickford saves, and then Cherky's effort is then blocked. I think that was on target as well, so that should have been 3. But then on 95 minutes, he's sort of forced out wide by a Pickford lunge. Yeah, I think he made a little bit of contact. If Haaland had gone over, probably would have been a penalty. I think he made contact, but he stayed on his feet. Angle was far too tight, so rather than try and find a City player, as ever, a striker looking for his hat-trick, he tried for goal, and of course it just somehow ended up over the other side of the net. And yeah, that had followed a wonderful tackle from Bernardo. It was like a back heel tackle towards the halfway line. I have no idea how he did it. It was fantastic. He won the ball. If you get a chance, watch that back, guys. If you've not watched it back, fantastic back heel tackle, I'll call it, from Bernardo. And of course, he had another chance, Ireland, 96 minutes. Yeah, 1-on-1. Pickford denies. He sort of drags it with his right over to his left, and it's just too easy for Pickford. Pickford was well positioned, but it sort of tamely hit at him, so he missed that chance as well. So yeah, he could have easily had a hat-trick today. My little sum up for this, job done. Everton, 1 or 2 opportunities. I think they may have even been ahead on that first half, but thankfully City livened it up a bit in the second. We weren't always fluid, but yeah, Haaland is the difference again, isn't he? And that should have been a hat-trick by the end. But as I said, as in the headline for this little vlog, without Haaland, we do worry a little bit. More of that in the newspaper headlines in a minute. The stats: City 19 shots, 7 on target, 5 for Everton, 1 on target. We had 72% possession, 723 passes of their 288, 91% pass accuracy, which is better, 79 for them. 8 fouls committed by us, 14 by them. No yellows for us, 2 for them. Corners 11-3 for us. And yeah, what I noticed, there might be more because there's no official stat for this, but I've added it to the stats. Long throw stats, none for City and 2 for Everton. That's what I can. So let me know if you noticed more, guys. I did notice two long throws by Everton, but there you go. There's the long throw stats. I've not found a media outlet that does them at the moment. There might be. I'll have to have a look. I mean, some like SofaScore might have a long throw stat. I don't know, but let me know if there is, guys, so I can have a look at that every week rather than try and add it up in my head myself. So when I get past 2, I'm struggling. Simple as that. Pep said after the game, well, he mainly concentrated on Phil, I think. He said about Phil, he is more mature and everything. He's fine. He's enjoying himself. He's smiling. His body language and training is fantastic. The way he moves, he always creates something. The first half was more difficult because he couldn't see who was the man free, but the rest was really good. Phil can make a step and play, and he's like we remember in the past. Last season, we were not in our best, but Phil every season has been extraordinary, always. You cannot play all the time in 6th gear. You have to use tempo. It was question of, notice what cars Pep drives, 6 gears. It was question of time that he would improve, and not all the time can be explosive. This is how it's written. You know what Pep's like with his better English than my Spanish, that's for sure. You have to work and make the rhythm. Step by step, he will be better. Like a good wine. With time, he will be better. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I was doing some of this stuff here, and I was listening back to LB's live thing, and he was very critical of Phil Foden in that first half, and certainly noticed him more in the second, but I thought it was a bit unfair criticism. I thought Foden had been asked, if you look at the player ratings show that I've done, to do a job by Pep yesterday. I think he did it really well. So I think the criticism was unfair. I think Pep sort of more or less said that in that little interview after the game. As far as the table, yeah, we did go top for a few dozen minutes, didn't we? But of course, by Sunday morning, we were second. But as at Sunday, Spurs and Liverpool were still to play and knew both, if they get 3 points, would go ahead of us. So we'll see how that pans out. But, well, we have to be happy, don't we? Generally, City man of the match, probably Haaland. I might have delve deeper into people like Gonzalez, O'Reilly, but I'll go with Haaland because, I say, perhaps the fact he could have had a hat-trick dampened it a little. But yeah, I think most people agreed with Haaland. The media headlines: the Sunday Express, Simon Bukowski, mega goal Haal. There you go, Haal, yep. Mirror Star, Screwfix, football pullout, Chris Beasley, City slicker goal ace is Earl E. Riser. Yep. Haaland double sinks Toff, and there's a little dash there as though there should be something else, but there isn't. So I think there's a printing error on that headline, but my apologies. Well, not my fault. So whoever's done it. Sunday Mirror, get off my land. Yes, real obviously thinking of Haaland again. Express, Chris Beasley again. Erling double dumps Moyes. The Mail on Sunday, Pep is sold on Foden's silver service. So there we go, a bit of the wine link there. Our local paper, the Manchester Evening News, back page, 6-shooter, of course, of Haaland. Inside, Simon Bukowski. Haaland is City's head boy. Hot streak continues. Tyrone Marshall writes, Guardiola hails Foden and says he'll mature like fine wine. He certainly did. We know, we just read it out. Simon Bukowski, Pep, we can't just rely on Erling for goals. There you go, that's ties in with my little headline. And Tyrone Marshall, there's no stopping Haaland scoring. Well, there isn't, is there? Apart from, an injury. That might stop him, fingers crossed. He won't get any and we'll be fine. He can be rested when he needs to be rested. We've got a Carabao Cup game coming up, so we'll probably play the games up to that one and have a rest for that one, but we'll see. Let me know your thoughts on the game, guys. As I said, check out my player ratings. Hope you enjoyed this little story, this little look back, a little look back at the game. Remind yourself of the good and the bad bits. Let me know your favourite bits. That Bernardo backheel tackle is probably my best bit of this game, in fairness, aside from the goals, of course. So let me know your bits. Please, if you want to get in touch, or you do want to help the channel, as well as pressing those buttons and hyping, etc. There are ways of doing it. And all you ever have to do is just spare us another few moments and keep watching and listening.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway. And please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. That'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. Will be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love me film and TV like I do City. So if you're into that, have a look. Or if you know someone who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Piat6505, they've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Piat6505 on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you're a member, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs, so as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally, so a lot of the history stuff, so you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Piat6505 if you want to buy any of that memorabilia. That's all that you can actually gain that from being a member. And support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also, before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue in our 8th season. We've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.